That's Midnight Oil. It's the Mornings with Ed show. Welcome to the program. 11:51 the time, coming up on the noon hour. I mentioned earlier Midnight Oil, a socially conscious band whose lyrics reflect that. A couple of months back, I was hosting a book signing here in town, and our next guest walked up to me and just asked me the coolest, most random question ever: what's up with American democracy? Nadiia Hardy is her name. Nadiia is from the Ukraine, and she is ready for a fascinating conversation, not just an explanation of my thoughts on what American democracy is, but her experience with it so far since she's been here. She knows some of the finest people in town, and clearly you're loved by a really cool circle of people. Welcome, Nadiia. How are you today?
Thank you, Ed. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for this opportunity for me to speak up my experience of democracy here in America. Thank you.
So let's start from the beginning. Obviously, Ukrainian.
Yes,
when did you arrive here in the United States for the first time?
So I moved from Kiev in February.
Okay.
1st of February, so 3 weeks before the war began, but I moved in Laguna Beach 1st of March.
Okay.
2022, and in a few days you was welcome in a Stand for Ukraine rally,
right,
which was very heart-melting for me to see how people care about Ukraine, and I even remember I'd been crying, talking,
right,
could not hold my tears. Right. Yeah, that was emotions in the beginning.
So at first, when Russia attacked Ukraine at first, so many Americans stood behind Ukraine, and we were really, really supportive of the Ukrainian effort to fight back and to kick Russia out of Ukraine. And since this last election, the support for Ukraine has changed. The administration seems to support Ukraine less. Though the American public still seems very supportive, the administration itself seems less supportive. Do you notice that, or is that something that it's just me noticing that?
Of course, I think you should be blind to not notice it.
Okay.
Of course, everybody notices it, and it's just it's not surprise for us, because since beginning of the war, I personally experienced overwhelming amount of disinformation about what is Ukraine, about our culture, about our people, lots of misrepresentation. It was overwhelming, and at some point I even totally shut off, because I realized I cannot deal with this amount of disinformation on my own, because right, I'm a one against 1,000. Because again, Russia is much bigger than Ukraine, right, and in times bigger. So of course there is few Ukrainians compared with 1,000 Russian who are very well established here, and who you would believe, someone you know for long or someone who just arrived.
Right. You mentioned a campaign of disinformation, and what we found here in 2015 and 2016 and leading up to our election was Russian bots in our social media and spreading disinformation that way. Did you also find that in the social media in Ukraine?
Of course, like when Crimea was annexed, right, and
in 2014.
Yes, 2014 exactly, yes. The same amount of disinformation was in our country, right, by Russian bots, and there was lots of, people was betrayed our country as well for money. Was because greed sometimes make people blind and forget, and they're selling not just their life but future of their children and grandchildren.
Right.
So, and that's people forgetting, because when they see money, they forget what they actually consequences of
Right.
that. So yes, disinformation is the biggest, tool Russia always used throughout all history, because that's how control works. But we lived with Russian for long enough, for last century in Soviet Union, so we do know how they communicate. We can't separate truth from lies. So critical thinking, that's something that we are learning in school, not a school curriculum, but we do teach our children how to think critically, so how to understand where is lie, where is truth. So intelligence matter.
Right.
So just I'm sure everyone absolutely capable with, especially in democratic country like America. You are not North Korea, where 100% of information controlled. So you do have access to all kind of point of view. So you definitely can, every grown up has capability to think critically, have capability. Question, do you use it or not?
Exactly, and that is the key right there. A lot of people, and in this country, a lot of people refuse to see the truth. They see it. They know what it is. They know where the truth is, but for whatever political expedience or greed or whatever it is, they choose not to see it. And I'm curious as to what you're hearing from on the ground from your friends and family that might still be in Ukraine.
Yeah, I do hear every day very different opinion. I do love, broad spectrums. That's why it gives me full picture. But what I've noticed, some people, like you saying, do not see. And this is really, I really ask, do they really choose to see it, or they just live in an environment where so bubbled, like Laguna Beach actually pretty proud announcing, and we live in bubble, which is, I don't believe it's advantage. It's a heavy disadvantage when you live in a bubble. You don't see full picture, and that's when you're sleeping. That's when you're losing your democracy, when you do not see full picture. So it's very important to see it, and bubble is not a safe place. It's a perfect environment for dictators. That's why they're creating it. That's why they're controlling it, and that's why they call it also democracy, because democracy as a word very much abused. But come back to original meaning of it, which was created in the 5th centuries by Greeks. It's power to people.
Right.
So people, not a government. Government was chosen to represent people voice.
Right.
And if they not represent people voice, they just need leave. That's it. They're not kings or queens or someone in charge of our life. They're someone who are serving people. And that's what you need to be reminded, because if you're not reminded, you're losing democracy, full meaning of democracy. Because gaslighting is a tool of many manipulators who are psychopaths and narcissists, and that's a tool I am sure everybody very much learned during this presidency, especially, and at least how it looks for me. Maybe I cannot say for everyone, but that's how it looks for me.
When you talk about Laguna Beach, and specifically the bubble that we live in, and you and I have spoken off air before about the type of representation that we have. We live in a representative government. And what that is yes, the democracy, we vote for individuals to represent us in Congress, in the Senate, and here even as locally on the city council. We have voted, and I'll just use them as an example. The majority of Laguna Beach elected those 5 people to sit on our city council, and we trust them to make the decisions of whether there's a promenade, whether there's going to be certain rules about smoking or balloons or whatever. We've elected them to make those decisions. Yet there are some who, when they make a decision, when the council makes a decision that is not popular with them, they give me I think we should vote on everything. The people should have a voice to vote on promenade or on smoking or on whether there's balloons on the beach, which I disagree with, because we have elected officials, representatives to represent us. So if it becomes inefficient to to vote for every single thing. And I don't think that that's what you're talking about. Am I crazy there?
No, it's not what I'm not talking about. I mean, yes, of course, you vote for someone who represents you.
Yeah.
And of course, different voice want different representation.
Yeah.
And that's when you're saying like majority choose this one. And like, following your logic, you could say majority choose Trump, and that's who we are.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
which makes me angry at the people that didn't vote, by the way. It makes me completely angry at those that did not vote, because we have 300 million people eligible to vote. It's actually like 291 million eligible voters, and for some reason only 145 million voted. And there we have an administration that 50% of us that voted are unhappy with the decisions being made. But yeah, he won, and it's a sad.
it's very, very sad to
Right.
hear, and people just don't use this.
It's an incredible power.
For centuries, people fight to get right to vote,
Right.
and people don't use this right. This is very, very sad for me. It's really like even personally very sad. But people do it for different reasons. Most of them just don't believe in government because they just was ignored. There is pretty big category of people like working class are mostly ignored. They are trapped in a system which is not built for them, and they don't use their voice because they don't know how they use their voice, or because they don't even communicate in family properly, and that's why for them it's difficult to communicate outside. And this is very shame, and I think that's what is Democratic Party in Laguna Beach especially missing, is hear every voice, no matter how it sounds. Maybe it doesn't sound pleasant for you, but it's voice, and they have their experience, and they have a right to be heard, and to have communication, not just say like, oh, just go to another city. If you don't like it, go to another city. It's not a communication.
Right.
And that's very important to hear every voice,
Open
because
dialogue.
when people are heard, feel heard, when the people feel understood, there is no space for conflict.
Right.
Conflict only happens when people feel they ignored, ostracized, and they just in defensive mode, which is absolutely healthy reaction.
Let's. I want to take a step back and talk about the Ukraine that you experienced as a child, as opposed to the Ukraine that you've recently experienced. As a child growing up in Ukraine, what was that like?
Oh, it's nothing the same. So what I would definitely can say is like two different countries, two different worlds. It's nothing the same, and I absolutely proud for all Ukrainians how much they achieved for this period of time, for my lifetime. I am consider myself very fortunate to see this difference, and it's really painful to see that things are happening here the same. Very painful, but unfortunately my grandparents and parents did not have this fortune like I do, have the democracy was regained. Like we're still fighting for it. It's not the end of I cannot say that we're like free from corruption and free from influence. We are building it, because it sometimes takes generation. When you're losing your democracy, so that's why you should be very careful what you can lose now, because it takes generation. Literally generation to regain it, but to lose it, it takes one president election choice and
one administration
to turn it all around. Yes, so that's why democracy is not like now, and it should be verb. As long as you work and you have it. So democracy is something you need to watch it, like your garden.
I described the other day on air, I described democracy as a pair of butterfly wings. Absolutely beautiful, but absolutely fragile and delicate. And to have thought for so many years that it was possible, there was nothing that could shake the cores of democracy, because we have a system of checks and balances. The judiciary checks the executive branch checks the legislative branch, and it's this circle. Well, it seems that we're learning now. It's not that concrete.
Yes, nothing is concrete. Everything is possible to break if you're not protecting it.
Right.
So it's very important to protect something valuable.
Right.
So if you're not watching for it, it's going to be destroyed by somebody who feel envy or whatever, or wants to get it for themselves. So it's very important to maintain democracy. Don't take it for granted. It's easy. It's very easy. I understand American. That's easy to you take for granted democracy because you was born on it. So you don't know how to live without it. I do know how to live without it. So I would never come back to it. That's why I am here to you, talking about it and talking to my Ukrainian friends and whoever I know, because I'm not going, and I don't want my son to live there. So I paid my price. I mean, my grandparents and parents paid price, so I'm not going to. I'm rejecting it.
Right.
So, and I believe in everyone who will not accept it. So don't accept it voluntarily, because everyone who want to destroy democracy, of course, they use fear, they intimidate you, and they say you are nobody, you don't have a voice, you are illegal, you are like immigrant, you are woman, you are whatever.
Right.
There is long list, it's endless.
Right.
Endless, but important that everybody has a voice. Even illegal also have a voice. Everyone, absolutely everyone, without any exception, have a voice, and they must use it.
Even those in the country illegally used to have constitutional rights here. They were protected by the same constitution that protects me, who was born here.
Human beings. So because
right,
democracy, again, built on a fundamental value, compassion.
Right.
Compassion, this is foundation of democracy. Without compassion, it cannot exist, literally cannot. But like in any abusive relationships, narcissists are very lean to compassion people, because that's their resources. Because compassion people, someone who actually creates things, they build, they make things happen. And narcissists and psychopaths only they're taker. And of course, they're very dragged to the places. Laguna Beach was built by compassion people.
Right.
But now it's changing.
Right.
Now it's changing. Please don't let it to
Don't
change in a
let
way
that
when
change
it will
happen.
be irreversible.
Right.
So appreciate compassion people, because they created this city. You wouldn't believe here if they wasn't here.
The last time I saw you before today was 2 weeks ago Saturday, when the rally happened on the beach. We were expecting 1,200 protesters. We ended up with 4,000 protesters.
Wow, it was beautiful.
And that's what you said to me as you walked by.
I walked by and I could not, come and say, that's changed that's giving me hope. That's giving me so big hope. In fact, I can say, like, I was just look at this from inside and saying, now I love Laguna Beach again. That was my thoughts, because in some point I thought, like, I came here too late.
Right,
Like,
right.
it's already happened here. That's what happened in Ukraine. Like, whatever I speak up, people just don't understand, because they don't know the difference like I do. So I felt like I'm not heard for this reason. But now you experience and you're losing democracy, and you're beginning to understand what I was talking about. And that felt so relieving. Like, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
thanks. Things like I was, walk by and just, say thank you to everyone who actually expressing it. The messages was very strong. Like, it's really touched me. Like, in compassion word was there, and consequences of corruption much bigger than we think, because it's future.
Right.
It's future. That's the point. It's not just today.
I noticed that between that moment that you walked by that day and the week before or 2 weeks before, when I saw you previous to that, there was a sense of hope that was regained on that day.
Exactly. That was exactly what happened, because when I first time reached here in the meeting, I said, like, I have not experienced democracy in Laguna Beach. Where is it? Like,
Right.
I just don't see it. And then, like, after this No King rally, like, I said, oh, I see it. You understand what you're losing.
Right.
And that's gave me hope and you can fight back because you're intelligent, you have a voice and you can do it.
And we can
you
use
understand.
it.
You understand what you're losing, and you have critical thinking, you have great education, you're absolutely capable to defeat it despite all of disinformation, gaslighting, and all of this old book play. Actually, they're not creating anything new. All these dictators, tyranny book, it's like they're not creating anything new. It's old book. I don't know, just get free time and then we can read it and you're like,
it's the old playbook, right?
Exactly.
It's the oldest playbook in the world.
They're not creating anything new. They're using the same type of manipulations, and I am sure American can defeat it. So now I do have hope. 2 weeks ago, I actually had very different opinions. Well, I am glad that we're speaking now, not 2 weeks ago.
Me too. It warms my heart that we're talking now. And that when I saw you that day, that you had said that, and I thought, okay, there is hope. I want to talk for a moment about this moment in Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, I have a feeling that Ukraine would be in very, very, very serious condition right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. First of all, Zelensky was first authentic leader. Authentic. He ran his business authentically, despite he had not been in politics. But I do remember him as a leader in business, and he always highly appreciated his team. He always put team first. That's why everyone who worked for him actually loved him, genuinely. And when he became president, he started doing the same. So he did not fake it. He does sincerely care about his country. He does sincerely care. But of course, Ukraine, like any other country, have people who are thinking only on themselves. They don't think far ahead. They don't think about future. They stuck in a basic needs and they don't see anything. There is, different people, different story. And Ukrainian now very actively work on mental health in general to rewire people's minds, because when you lived most of your life in Soviet Union, and I know my mom lived most of her life in Soviet Union, it's a very hard to think differently. I moved here to Kyiv to live with me. It took me that 10 years actually, then she started enjoying simple things. Like, you're laughing, but that's how hard and how awful dictatorship system is. And communism may be, in its success of Soviet Union, look for the world like a perfect picture, but believe me, I lived inside, there was nothing perfect. It was literal imprisonment in a country level, and that's what is dictatorship about. You are imprisoned in your own country, so don't let it happen here, please.
And we won't. And with voices like yours, who know we won't.
Thank you.
You need to again. What is the next couple of years hold for you? What do you see here in the United States, and in particular in Laguna Beach? Will you be traveling back to Ukraine at any point in the next couple of years?
No, I don't think so. I can travel now, but I definitely, because I'm single mom, so I need to focus on my son, and he is now a teenager. He's 11 turning, so I need to be for him resourceful. Don't interrupt his education, and I can support Ukraine being here. I can support America here. So traveling, it's very, very difficult for me. Like, you can't imagine, many people don't understand, and for me, even moving city is like mission impossible. It is, because I am need to do all over again. Like, for me, safety, when I understand where I live, with who I surrounded, that's for me safe place. But when you move into another place, you need to do all over again. This is extremely time consuming. I'm not talking about mentally and educationally. So, so I keep on speaking up, keep on saying, sharing my experience, keep on raising awareness about mental health, because I do believe it's very connected to dictatorship and loose democracy, because it's, at the end of the day, it's all people's psychology. It's how we perceive information, how we easy to be manipulated. So healthy people don't fall into tricks. They don't. And, creating healthy environment and healthy economy is very difficult with greedy and narcissistic and psychopath people around. Very, very difficult. But it is possible. It is possible with majority. Again, majority always win.
So if and we will continue this conversation many more times. I'd love to have you here again.
Thank you.
Before you go, one message to the American people. What would that message be from you?
My message would speak up, no matter with your accent, no matter of your status, no matter of your confidence, no matter of your trauma, no matter of anything. Just speak up what you're passionate, what you believe, and keep your emotions cool, because emotions are great, but they're really big distraction in effective communication.
Okay. Nadiia Hardy, I can't thank you enough for coming in and having this conversation with me.
Thank you very much, Ed. So have a great day.
Thank you.
Take
You as
care.
well. Important conversation. We'll have it again. 12:17 the time. It's the all-new Voice of Laguna.
Mornings with Ed will be back in a minute.
Hey everyone, it's Lauren from My Laguna office. We're located in the heart of Laguna Beach. Come on by for all your shipping